am Noriko Bullful, and this is Uncut News. Due to American privacy laws, the US Embassy in Georgetown says it's not snitching on who got their visa snatched. But, like an underlying medical condition, those affected don't even know that it has hit them yet. Ambassador Sarah Ann Lynch told reporters this morning that those in question will be informed by the US Embassy, while those without a visa will find out when they apply for one. Ambassador Lynch stated that over 130 countries represented through several international organizations have called for the elections results to be declared based on the results of the recount. Additionally, she came to the defense of GCOM chairman Justice Claudette Singh. Lynch expressed her utmost confidence in the chairman's ability to be fair and impartial. Additionally, she expressed shock and disgust at the unwarranted attacks on Justice Singh, who she described as a, quote, distinguished jurist who has given decades of her life in service to her country. By the way, like this video if your visa's safe. Brazil, our large but typically quiet neighbor to the south, has added its voice to the growing chorus of individuals and international bodies calling for the Granger government to step down. According to a press statement issued yesterday, the Brazilian government considers the delaying of the electoral process a serious threat to stability in Guyana, and as a consequence, the region and even the whole hemisphere. Then, like a disappointed parent speaking to a delinquent child, the Brazilian government went further to call on Guyana to, quote, remain among the South American nations committed to the highest democratic principles, end quote. Wow, you know you've gone too far when even the Trump of the tropics says you're going too far. One of the things that does fret me the most about taxi drivers is when they say they'll be there just now to pick you up, but when you call them back 30 minutes later, they are now crossing the Berbice Bridge to get you in Georgetown. Head down to BM-SOT at Lot 9 Crow Street, Georgetown, and get your own car. Call them on telephone number 231-8451. BM-SOT Auto Sales. It's your turn to drive. Continuing with political news, CARICOM Chairman Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves says that a special meeting of CARICOM heads of state to discuss the electoral impasse will be convened next week. Speaking during a Jamaican radio interview, Gonsalves said that they would await the High Court's decision on Sunday, but the meeting is likely to be held on Monday. Nevertheless, he described the electoral crisis as a blot for the nation and CARICOM, while repeating his call for the Granger government to step aside. This morning, the government announced that Phase 3 of the national reopening process will commence next Monday and will continue until the 31st of July. Several new measures will take effect, including a 2-hour reduction of the curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. The curfew will only apply to Berbice on weekend nights. Additionally, international travel is still restricted. There are also a set of other restrictions for people in Region 1 and 7, but you can refer to the Gazette order for the complete list of measures. This morning, construction worker Anthony Lowe of Mucka East Bank, Demerara, died 1 week after a bank's DIH building collapsed on him at Rumvelt Industrial Site in Georgetown. He never regained consciousness after sustaining several internal injuries. He is the second construction worker to have died in the accident. Get your GPS tracker at Triple B's and be able to shut off your engine remotely. This could come in handy if your car gets hijacked. You could leave the thief looking real thin when he breaks down at the side of the road corner with a stolen car. Ha ha! Get it at Triple B's Enterprise. Call them now on telephone number 682-8326. Here's a story that kind of got buried in the headlines. 2 persons close to former murder accused Marcus Bisram were on Friday last found guilty of bribery. Bisram's mother, Sharmila Indajali of number 72 Village Quarantine Berbice, and Mariana Lionel, a relative of one of Bisram's alleged accomplices, were accused of offering a detective 4 million Guyana dollars to suppress evidence in relation to the Fayaz Narindat murder case. While 5 persons have since been committed to the High Court to face trial for the murder, the charges against Bisram were dismissed twice. Both times the court ruled that there was insufficient evidence to continue the charge against him. I wonder why. The US $5 million renovation of the Ocean View International Hotel into a state-of-the-art infectious disease hospital, which was expected to be completed by Monday last, has once again been postponed. Culture News reports that the construction aspect of the project is now expected to be completed by July 29th. The facility will then have to be set up with the required equipment to make it functional. It should be noted that the project was originally slated to be completed in April. Now, let's look at what's going on in the region. When a suitable vaccine for the Rona is produced, Trinidad will be able to access it through a partnership with the Pan American Health Organization. Minister of Health Terence Singh made the announcement as he read from a correspondence with PAHO, which assured that the Twin Island Republic would have, quote, equitable access to the vaccine. This correspondence means that PAHO will represent confirmed countries in the bidding for vaccine provisions, rather than having individual nations have to shoulder that burden. Former Prime Minister of Barbados, Owen Arthur, is currently in the intensive care unit at the Queen Elizabeth's Hospital in Bridgetown after suffering a heart attack last night. The 70-year-old politician is said to be in stable condition. Cellular Plus has a new location at the Massey Megastore in Turkine. Don't miss their launch offer of a brand new smartphone for just $12,000, or get a free SIM card with the purchase of credit. While there, you can even sign up to start selling Digicel top-up and start your own little business. Yeah. Call them on telephone number 685-3109. Cellular Plus, Guyana's #1 cellular superstore. Here's our weird news story of the day. In an idea that is either genius or just plain terrifying, the Tourism Board of Iceland is currently promoting the nation as the perfect place to release your tension after being locked up in your home for the past several months. And what better way to release your stress than to scream like your head ain't good? Ha! Yes! Iceland is inviting people struggling with the events of this year to let off steam by recording their screams and having them played over a loudspeaker in a remote part of the island country. You can choose from 7 locations to have your scream played in. Exotic locations such as the peak of a volcano or even the bottom of a waterfall. Iceland's tourist board has set up a website for the project. It says, quote, "You've been through a lot this year, and it looks like you need the perfect place to let your frustrations out. Somewhere big, fast, and untouched. It looks like you need Iceland." Good thing they are putting those speakers in remote places. Could you imagine how terrifying it would be to live near one of them? Oh gosh, madness! Moving on to our Uncut News viewers poll. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, do you feel that the curtains may have fallen on the Granger government, or will they continue to soldier on through the sanctions? Here's what you all said. KS said, the only thing that would make these people give up power willingly is ExxonMobil cutting ties with Guyana and drying up the oil money and capital investment. They are power hungry. And Romella Ford said, if the Granger government has the citizens at heart, they should step down and work on their opposition strategy, their next presidential candidate, and better policies for the next elections. Great responses, folks. Now, let's move away from politics. As you know, we are just days away from August, the month in which millions of children around the world are expected to return to school. But seeing as we're still in the middle of a pandemic, many school districts are debating how the post-pandemic education system will look like. For tonight's questions, I want to know, what do you think education should look like in Guyana? From primary to university, I want you all to get creative. Pretend Guyana's money long. Are these subjects or even aspects of learning that we should focus on more? Think about that question and let us know in the comments below. If your response is good, we just might feature it in Friday's episode. That's all the time we have for tonight. Come back tomorrow for another episode. Until then, I am Noriko Bullford saying good night, folks. Hey Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.